Magandang gabi. Una sa ating mga balita, nagkita na rin sina Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at Russian President Vladimir Putin sa Lima, Peru. Sa kanilang paghaharap sa 24th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation o APEC Summit, nagpaabot ng pagbati si President Putin kay Pangulong Duterte sa pagkakapanalo nito sa nakaraang presidential elections. Nagkasundo ang dalawang bansa na palakasin pa ang ugnayang diplomatiko. May report si Rocky Ignacio.
Nagkasundo ang Pilipinas at Russia na palakasin pa ang ugnayang diplomatiko. Naganap ang pinakaabangang pagkikita ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at Russian President Vladimir Putin sa Lima, Peru, kung saan kapwa dumadalo ang dalawang leader sa 24th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation na APEC Summit. Sa pagharap ng dalawa, agad ipinabot ni President Putin ang pagbati sa naging panalo ni Pangulong Duterte noong May 9 presidential elections. Ang petsa na naging masayang bahagi rin sa kanila dahil sa pagwawakas ng digmaan laban sa Nazi.
Your Excellency, distinguished Mr. My pleasure to meet you. A very bright day, public holiday over the Nazis. So once again, congratulations, Mr. President.
Президент, в этом году мы отмечаем 40-летие установления дипломатических отношений между нашими историческими мерками. Очень маленький срок.
Well, historically, it's quite a short period of time for our partnership between our countries. And with respect, it's my pleasure to have a chance to speak to you.
Ikinalagon ni Pangulong Duterte ang paghaharap nila ni Putin na isa sa mga lider na nais nitong makapulong. Una nang sinabi ng Pangulo na bahagi pa rin ito ng pagiging bukas ng Pilipinas sa iba pang mga bansa sa larangan ng kalakalan at pamumuhunan.
Not only because you represent a great country, but your leadership too. And we've been longing to be a part also of this project. We've been longing to be a part of Europe, especially in the commerce and trade all over the world.
Ibinahagi rin ni Pangulong Duterte kay President Putin ang kanyang concern sa Estados Unidos. Nagpulong ang dalawang leader sa harap na rin ay sinusulong ng independent foreign policy ng Duterte administration.
Historically, we identified with the Western world. It was good until it lasted, and of late, I see a lot of these Western nations bullying small nations. And not only that, they are into so much hypocrisy. And they seem to start a war, but are afraid to go to war. That is what's wrong with America and the other. They've been waging war in so many places, in Vietnam, in Afghanistan, and in Iraq. And for one single reason, that there was a weapon of mass destruction, and there was none. We're allied with them that they follow. They go to the Korean War, nothing happened. We got defeated. They also got soldiers, Filipino soldiers in both Iraq and Vietnam, and nothing happened. Then they went on an expedition in Iraq on an excuse of weapons of mass destruction, and there was none. And what they forced my country to contribute military forces. And then one Filipino worker in the Middle East was captured by the groups there. They threatened to behead the Filipino unless we go out of course, in the war against in the Middle East at that time. And because it was of national interest, and because the country was really going overboard thinking of how to solve the problem, the condition was that if we withdraw our forces, then they would spare the life of the Filipino worker. And we decided to withdraw. And from that time on, the Americans made it hard for us.
Samantala, formal na rin inimbitahan ni President Putin si Pangulong Duterte na bumisita sa Russia.
Oh yes, the president of Russia, President Putin, had formally extended an invitation for the president to go to Russia, and this will be preceded by a trip that I will have to undertake there this December, and I look forward for even a more optimistic and closer and more detailed discussions of the president with the head of state of Russia, and that will be or mark the beginning of our entering into various agreements that would achieve our objectives and goals.
Naniniwala rin si Secretary Yasay na malinaw na naipabot ni Pangulong Duterte ang kahalagahan ng pagpapairal ng independent foreign policy ng Pilipinas, kasabay na rin ang pagbibigay tuon ng kooperasyon sa larangan ng trade and investment sa Russia. Para sa PTV News, Rocky Ignacio, Lima, Peru.
Your Excellency, distinguished Mr. My pleasure to meet you. War over the Nazis. A very bright day, public holiday. So once again, congratulations, Mr. President.
Президент, в этом году мы отмечаем 40-летие установления дипломатических отношений между нашими историческими мерками. Очень маленький срок.
Well, historically, it's quite a short period of time around partnership between our countries. And with respect познакомиться не только потому, что вы представляете великую страну, но и для ваших личных лидерских качеств.
I was very happy with it. I think we had really achieved a lot in moving forward. The purpose of the bilaterals, as requested by China, was to follow through on the MOUs that we had signed during the state visit of the president there. And I'm very happy to report that we are on track on this one. We will be pushing for now more vigorous talks for the purpose of implementations, the broad strokes that we had arrived at when we signed these MOUs. So these are things that we're looking forward, and we're very happy that China is as enthusiastic as the Philippines in making sure that the trade and economic relationships that we would like to foster would really be fast-tracked. We spoke a little bit about the South China Sea disputes, not for the purpose of resolving them now, but I think most of the conversation along that line was an expression of goodwill. We have the assurance, we have not asked for it, but this is a voluntary action on the part of the Chinese that our fishermen will continue to be having free access to their traditional fishing grounds. And more than that, the Chinese has even offered our fishermen opportunities for them to develop and train to make sure that their livelihood as fishermen will be strongly supported, and they will even be able to engage themselves in the culturing of fishes that would sustain their families and their livelihood. We also had made sure that any actions that will be taken by us will be precisely to just simply promote our interests, where the area of jurisdiction, territorial ownership and sovereignty will be set aside in the meantime until a solution is in sight in the future.
Overall, the general mood of our president with the bilateral talks with China?
Very optimistic, and we have instructions for the President to also move forward fast on this. Incidentally, the agricultural aspect or sector of our relationship will also be pushed through. China has indicated an intention to really beef up their importation of agricultural products, particularly the area of fruits. They have also mentioned the lifting of the ban on tourists coming over, and we expect in the next few weeks even a marked increase in tourists coming from China.
Our President Rodrigo Duterte extended an invitation to the Prime Minister of China. What was the answer to this?
Yes, the President extended an invitation for President Xi Jinping to visit the Philippines, and he had accepted it. But more significantly also, the President of China had indicated that they will be hosting the BRICS conference in September of next year in Russia. That will involve, of course, the BRICS countries, but had asked personally for the President to be a participant in that very important conference because of the ASEAN leadership that is going to be hosted by the President or by the Philippines in 2017.
And also, how was the bilateral talks with Russia today? We had a very busy morning, so how did it go?
Yes, that one was also very encouraging. We had agreed to really foster a stronger trade relationship with Russia. We acknowledge that in the past somehow, even as we are celebrating long years, 70 or 40 years of diplomatic relationship with Russia, our relationship has not really matured, especially in the area of trade and investments. And commercial relationship, but this time we are going to push through for it. The President had explained to President Putin the historical basis of our present situation and why it was necessary for us to really engage in an independent foreign policy. And I would like to tell our people that it is very important for everybody to make sure that in order for them to successfully move forward in forging a brighter future for our country, they must learn from the mistakes in the past. Unless we're able to recognize that and acknowledge that there were mistakes made, there will be no way that we can move forward. And I think the President conveyed this message quite clear to the President of Russia.
Also, one last question for Russia. Did the President also extend an invitation to the Russian government?
Oh yes, the President of Russia, President Putin, had formally extended an invitation for the President to go to Russia, and this will be preceded by a trip that I will have to undertake there this December, and I look forward for even a more optimistic and closer and more detailed discussions of the President with the head of state of Russia, and that will be or mark the beginning of our entering into various agreements that would achieve our objectives and goals.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
You had taas kayo mumuntan.
Ha?
Magandang gabi. Una sa ating mga balita, nagkita na rin sina Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at Russian President Vladimir Putin sa Lima, Peru. Sa kanilang paghaharap sa 24th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation o APEC Summit, nagpaabot ng pagbati si President Putin kay Pangulong Duterte sa pagkakapanalo nito sa nakaraang presidential elections. Nagkasundo ang dalawang bansa na palakasin pa ang ugnayang diplomatiko. May report si Rocky Ignacio.
Nagkasundo ang Pilipinas at Russia na palakasin pa ang ugnayan diplomatiko. Naganap ang pinakaabangang pagkikita ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at Russian President Vladimir Putin sa Lima, Peru, kung saan kapwa dumadalo ang dalawang leader sa 24th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation ng APEC Summit. Sa pagharap ng dalawa, agad ipinabot ni President Putin ang pagbati sa naging panalo ni Pangulong Duterte noong May 9 presidential elections, ang petsa na naging mas alakalan at pamumuhunan.
Not only because you represent a great country, but of your leadership too. And we've been longing to be a part also of despite the distance. We've been longing to be a part of Europe, especially
bahagi rin sa kanila dahil sa pagwawakas ng digmaan laban sa Nazi.
Your Excellency, distinguished Mr. My pleasure to meet you. A very bright day, public holiday over the Nazis. So, once again, congratulations, Mr. President.
Президент, в этом году мы отмечаем 40-летие установления дипломатических отношений между нашими историческими мерками. Очень маленький срок.
Well, historically, it's quite a short period of time around partnership between our countries. It's my pleasure to have a chance to speak to you.
Ikinalagon ni Pangulong Duterte ang paghaharap nila ni Putin na isa sa mga lider na nais nitong makapulong. Una nang sinabi ng Pangulo na bahagi pa rin ito ng pagiging bukas ng Pilipinas sa iba pang mga bansa sa larangan ng